What's going on, people? It's been a little bit since I did a video. I figured I'd get another one up. Camera looks fucking crooked. Fuck it, whatever. So today I'm going to talk about the Sony PlayStation and the PlayStation 2 a little bit. Mainly the PlayStation. I'll go into the PlayStation 2 just a touch, not much, but I'll go into it a little bit. What I want to focus on mainly is mod chips and the copy protection. There's a lot of misinformation out there. I want to get some shit straight. Alright? So, basically, there's a region lockout on the PlayStation, meaning you can't play games from other countries. And the reason why is because on original PlayStation discs, there is a string of letters, which is the country code that's embedded in the inner ring wobble. It's in the pre-groove. Okay? And what happens is the console looks for that string of letters, you know, whatever country you're in. Say, for instance, I'm in America. This is an American disc. It's going to work because the disc is going to read, you know, SCEA, and the console is going to look for SCEA. There's SCEE, SCEI, I believe, and SCEA. Since I'm in America, I'm SCEA. Now, if I put a Japanese game into my PlayStation, it's not going to work because the string of letters, the code in the wobble, is going to be different than what my console is looking for. Okay, I don't have a backup, so I'll use one of these crazy game station games as an example. See, this, you have to have some way to boot quote-unquote copy games and imports games from other countries, and one of the ways to do that is to install a mod chip. You solder it into the motherboard. Another way is the Breaker Pro disc or the PS Exchange disc, or the if you have the right model PlayStation, the little cart that goes in the back, the game enhancer. The way that works is when you put a foreign game in your console, it's going to read, you know, the letters, and it's not going to work because it's letters from another country, the region code. Well, what a mod chip does is it blocks the signal that is being transmitted from the console to the disc and injects its own code. And thus, you know, you can boot games from, you know, any region, because the console thinks that it's from your region when it's really not. It's just, you know, being tricked into thinking that. There are no bad blocks or bad sectors on any original PlayStation or PlayStation 2 disc. If you read the original patent that Sony has on their copy protection, you know, it doesn't say anything about bad sectors. I also came across a message board where I was Googling information on this. A guy by the name of Gav worked for Datel, or Datel, however you say it, who are the guys that make the Game Shark, I believe, in the UK. And they actually figured out the copy protection and, you know, produced their own discs. The only way to actually replicate the copy protection is to have a pressing plant, and, you know, this has been done with the PS Exchange 2 disc, boot disc, and the Breaker Pro boot disc. And the way that's done is by splicing and growing. Basically, they've taken the code off original discs and spliced it and pressed it onto a disc. And it works because the console thinks the boot disc is an actual disc because it's borrowed code. So there are no bad sectors. So when you put the PlayStation disc in your CD burner to make a backup copy of it, it's going to back up the entire thing. It's not going to correct any sectors or anything. It's going to make a 1-1 copy. However, it is not going to copy the copy protection because the copy protection is in the wobble. The wobble is outside the reading range of any CD burner that you can buy. So basically, when you back up a game, it doesn't copy the copy protection, and so if you put it into an unmodified system, it's not going to boot because the console is going to look for a code, and there's not going to be a code there. Like I said, imports show a foreign one, they show a different one. The code has to match. If you're in Europe, it has to match. If you're in Japan, it has to match. If you're here, the code has to match. Unless you have a mod chip, boot disk, or game enhancer, then it will, boot, wherever you are. So yeah, I just wanted to clarify that. There's no bad sectors on a PlayStation 2 disc either. This guy came across the message board. He said he worked for Datel for like 10 years. So, and he was, involved in, creating the Game Shark or the Action Replay. That's it, the Action Replay, not the Game Shark. Action Replay, yes. And but yeah, I came across so many websites that, it's like, oh, the PlayStation, does 2 checks when it boots up. It looks for bad blocks or bad sectors on the disc, and then it looks for the country code. No, it's just the country code, the region lockout. That's it, and it's embedded in the fucking wobble, and there's no way to get it out of the wobble to copy it, unless you have a mastering plant like Datel did. So, yeah, I just did a lot of research on this, and some of this stuff that I'm covering was dated 2011, so that was only 2 years ago. So it's pretty accurate. And Google's your friend. You might have to click on page 4, 5, and 6 to get to the real stuff, but that's what you got to do sometimes. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that that's, pretty much, without going into technical jargon, that's pretty much the gist of how the PlayStation 1 and the PlayStation 2 work. Now, the PlayStation 2 obviously is a little bit different. He didn't cover that because the PlayStation 2 was actually still supported by Sony until January of this year. So yeah, it had a pretty big lifespan. That might be why he didn't talk about it, is because it was still in under support for Sony. Now that it's not, I might join the message board and see if the guy's still around, talk to him about how Datel created the the Action Replay disc. But yeah, if anybody wants to comment about this and talk about it, awesome. I'll try to get back to you, and later.